Welcome back to another edition of Just an Opinion. Today I'm going to rank the movies of Noah Baumbach. He is a true modern-day auteur. His works have evolved from quirky independent pieces into very stylized artistic films that have a Woody Allen semblance to them. The strength of his works lies within the characters and dialogue. A gifted scribe, the struggles of Baumbach's personas are very relatable at their core. Some of his recurring themes deal with young pupils resisting growing up, but also on the other end of the spectrum with adults experiencing regret for how their lives turned out. There's also a heavy dissection into family dynamics from both the parents and the kids' point of view. Baumbach is only starting to get the recognition he deserves. His contemporary pictures often feature the likes of Adam Driver, Ben Stiller, and Greta Gerwig. But hopefully with my analysis, you might look into some of his lesser-known earlier works that feature Eric Stoltz, Chris Eichmann, and Carlos Jacquot. Today I'm going to rank all 11 of his directorial original film works. Baumbach is also an accomplished cinema scholar, as seen in several interviews he has with director Brian De Palma, also directing a documentary on his collective works. Talented and versatile, Baumbach is an asset to modern-day cinema. Number 11 is Margot at the Wedding. This story centers on two sisters reuniting for one's wedding. These roles are played by Nicole Kidman and Jennifer Jason Leigh. While certainly a happy occasion, deep-seated family tension is very tangible and eventually comes to a boiling point. Both sisters feel that they have it together and are quick to judge others.
Becky and I talk about you, about what a monster you are. Is it because Mom gave me the house? We've been talking about you. Becky can't stand you. What? Becky says you have borderline personality disorder.
What are you saying? Can't I have anything?
Yet both are emotionally fragile towards any conflicting opinion on how they live their lives. On top of this, family members are sometimes blind to how they bottle up these negative feelings and displace their frustrations onto others.
I mean, we're not close, even if we wanted to be.
But was there anything, Leo?
No. How many times do I have to say it? Jesus, do you think that little of me?
And with families, sometimes they assume a little bit too much, not realizing that there's a serious gap in how well they know each other. Kidman and Leigh do not seem like they are related at all, but that's actually a credit to their performance considering how sharply they contrast each other. Number 10 is Greenberg. Ben Stiller and Greta Gerwig lead this awkward comedy that deals with mental illness, social disorders, and unexpected love, or something like that. Stiller is very OCD and emotionally unbalanced, but also in denial for how some of his actions, both past and present, impact not only himself, but several others. Even at midlife age, he refuses to take his life completely seriously, taking a very lackadaisical approach to his future.
I'm really fine doing nothing. It's like you don't feel all that bullshit pressure to be successful. I mean, by other people's standards.
You know, I almost had a record deal when I got out of college. I haven't done nothing.
Cool.
I want to be doing nothing. I'm doing nothing deliberately.
Meanwhile, he represses confronting his past for painful reminders of what his life could have been.
I don't think you understand what it's been like for me out here, how the life I'd hoped for. It's huge to finally embrace the life you never planned on.
Of course I know what it's like to live a life I didn't plan on. What the fuck do you think I'm doing right now?
Gerwig, on the other hand, is endearingly naive in her part. Very open and honest, and looks for the best in people, but sometimes along the way she endures severe character assassination and judgment for her life choices. Number 9 is Frances Ha. This film conflates a modern New York tale stylized with slick new wave European cinematography. Greta Gerwig plays our title character, a whimsical free spirit trying to hold on to her youth, remaining free of most adult responsibilities.
Are you a lot older than Sophie?
No, we went to college together.
You seem older.
I'm a couple months older.
Like, a lot older. But less, like, grown up. It's weird. You have an older face.
But like,
You don't have your shit together?
Gerwig is sweet and gives a great performance. But at the same time, it's sad to see someone with a world of potential still clinging to their comfort zone. Gerwig often confuses spontaneity with maturity. It feels betrayed by those wanting to pursue a different path.
When did this happen?
It's been happening.
That's fucking bullshit. Come on, Sophie.
No, you're bullshit. And you're making me feel really bad right now.
I want to love him if you love him, but you don't love him.
I do.
Sophie, I fucking held your head while you cried. I bought special milk for you. I know where you hide your pills. Don't treat me like a 3-hour brunch friend.
Right, I'm not talking to you while you're like...
It's a hard truth in life when you come to terms with your own refusal to grow up, and that you've been holding on to a point in your life where everything just simply made sense. Also notable to this picture is an early supporting role for Adam Driver. Number 8 is Mistress America. This flick centers on the struggle to fit in. Lola Kirk stars as a lonely college freshman who seems pretty helpless, separated from her parental safety net.
Hey, are you there? Shit. I just wanted to know what kind of pasta you would buy. If you wanted to buy a nice pasta, like the brand. If you get this, can you call me back right away?
Things change though when she meets and tries to emulate her stepsister-to-be, played by Greta Gerwig. But Kirk's hero image of Gerwig is somewhat shaken when she notices a divide between who Gerwig thinks she is and how others see her.
Oh. The way you treated me really messed me up for a long time.
Everyone is an asshole in high school.
You made a lot of people feel bad, not just me.
I feel sorry for the 13-year-old girl that was you, but I don't feel sorry for you now.
We were 17.
If I was 13, I'd apologize to you, but seeing as both of us are in our 20s, I don't feel the need.
I just turned 30.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're a bitch.
Why?
The film is exceptionally quirky and well written. Baumbach's tales often unite the most unlikely of characters. There is so much substance and humor throughout the picture in even the most minimalist of actions. Gerwig was the co-writer on this project, and her talent oozes within the content, but also her performance. Number 7 is Mr. Jealousy. Sometimes in relationships, we can ruin something great with our own insecurities and negative thinking. Eric Stoltz leads this comedy as a sincere man who has the proclivity to feel jealous towards the former lovers of all of his girlfriends. With his present relationship, envy turns to obsession since her ex-boyfriend is an accomplished writer played by Chris Eichman. At this point, the flick turns into a comedy of errors, as Stoltz actually befriends Eichman within a group therapy session.
I joined Dashiell, Ramona's ex-boyfriend's group therapy.
Oh my God.
Nice.
And you joined his group therapy?
Well,
my God, to do what?
It's for her. To find out about what she was like, how I can do better.
But not as himself, but rather posing as his friend, played by Carlos Ducat. Stoltz's lies eventually catch up with him and everyone else.
Vince, you know Ramona?
I think we all have our different ways of ruining things.
And this one here knows
Yes.
Leo.
I can't believe you, Vince.
Ramona, you know Lester.
I just wish you could be as jealous of me as I am of you.
We love differently, Lester.
And you both know each other.
She's my girlfriend, Ash.
I can't.
Something that was once innocent and pure
I do a pretty good Muppet walk.
is now embedded in distrust. Number 6 is the Meyerowitz stories. Perhaps Baumbach's most star-studded cast, featuring Adam Sandler, Dustin Hoffman, and Ben Stiller. Sibling rivalry and jealousy can sometimes span into adulthood, and it can manipulate one's thinking when trying to work together as a family for even pressing matters. The humor in this picture is witty and off the wall.
Does it look like we need 2 ketchups?
What are you talking about?
The son of a bitch just put his ketchup on our table, too. Before you know it, he'll be sitting in my lap. I'm gonna punch this guy in the nose.
It's fine, Dad. We have the bigger table.
On y va comment?
Dad, what the fuck? Please don't do that again.
It's my protest.
But it also goes to show that people sometimes carry around pain and resentment for family that remains unresolved until it hits a point of confrontation.
Why are you so angry at him anyways? He loves everything you do.
Oh, does he? He doesn't tell me that.
He tells me! I should be the one who's angry at him. I should hate him. for treating me and Jean like second-class citizens.
I'm tired of apologizing for doing well.
Hoffman perfectly represents the father, who holds on to both grudges, but also a simplicity of the past he was familiar with. The family dynamic is certainly dysfunctional in this piece, but sometimes when tragedy happens, you have to band together, no matter what. Number 5 is kicking and screaming. The transition from college to adulthood sometimes doesn't quite happen right after graduation. In Baumbach's debut film, we get a unique ensemble of characters whom resist this maturity, even to the point where they want to remain located and involved in the college atmosphere.
I sold term papers to make a living, slept with undergraduates, the whole deal. After my 7th or 8th year, I began to feel like I was using myself. Somehow I experienced my time as a postponement of my life, but eventually I just realized that this is my life.
I can see getting used to it.
Each character is brilliantly written, hiding their vulnerabilities under a facade. And in hilarious fashion, they all cower with any form of confrontation.
Break your legs. I'm gonna smash that car. I'm gonna break your fucking legs.
This shouldn't be done. This guy would rather be bow hunting. Don't upset him because he'd already rather be bow hunting in any additional aggravation.
But even with living on campus, taking additional classes, or even forming relationships with younger students, each character eventually comes to the realization that that time in their life is over. With so many moving parts, there really is a smooth balance of character arcs, featuring Chris Eichmann, Eric Stoltz, and Carlos Jacot. Number 4 is While We're Young. 2 generations of documentarians clash over authenticity and integrity in this film. Stiller feels stuck in life, starting to realize that he is experiencing things that he commonly thought only older people go through. After meeting Driver, though, Stiller feels rejuvenated, even breaking away from some of his everyday conventions.
I keep wanting to say baklava, but that's a Greek dessert.
The almond-tasting pigs and fruits are made of...
I'll look it up.
No, that's too easy.
Let's try to remember it.
Can I now?
No. Let's just not know what it is.
Driver is a plucky idealist who has the advantages of everything modern, but is very selective in his craft and resources, blending old with new. Conflict arises along the way when Driver is revealed to be very calculating and manipulative, using Stiller along the way. Driver has the world seemingly at his fingertips, but Stiller attempts to teach him that possession is not the same thing as authorship.
You kids have been told you can do anything. You think everything is out there for you to have. It's not.
Nobody owns anything. If I hear a song I like or a story, it's mine. It's mine to use. It's everybody's.
No, it isn't. That's not sharing, Jamie. That's stealing.
That's old man talk.
I am an old man!
Number 3 is Marriage Story. This is arguably Baumbach's most critically acclaimed work. It's a sad, all too real tale of a married couple starting the divorce proceedings.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry. You're served.
Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson play the leads. Everything starts amicably, but the audience takes a long journey as this transitions to uncomfortable and even ugly at points.
I think we should probably do separate Halloweens.
But if you're okay with it, then shouldn't they be okay with it?
Let's just do it this way this time.
Do you not want me there?
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
It'll be nice for him. We'll have 2 Halloweens.
What am I going to do with him for second Halloween? Walk around Sunset Boulevard?
Both parties want what is best for their son, but both are represented by high-profile lawyers who bring out the worst in both of them. Their entire relationship is put under a microscope, both re-examining their marriage, blaming themselves, blaming the other, and even going so far as to blame their models of relationships that they had growing up.
You're exactly like your mother. Everything you're complaining about her, you're doing. You're suffocating Henry.
First of all, I love my mother. She was a wonderful mother.
Just repeating what you told me.
Secondly, how dare you compare my mothering to my mother? I may be like my father, but I am not like my mother.
You are! And you're like my father. You're also like my mother. You're all the bad things about all of these people.
The film cuts very deep and is a little difficult to watch at times. Number 2 is Highball. This is arguably Baumbach's funniest work. The story being the ups and downs of a relationship told through 3 separate parties, all taking place in the same apartment. These soirees feature mostly the same guests, including the usual players, celebrities appearing as themselves, and even Baumbach himself.
Why don't you just shut up, Felix?
Oh, look, Philip, I'm helping you out. You only got 2 stories, a divorced wife and the dead kid. Now you get to tell them both.
Philip, how is Margaret? We haven't seen her in a while.
Maybe that's because we got divorced, you fucking idiot!
The humor is exceptional, with repeated gags, and every character having a plethora of idiosyncrasies.
He'll be here. He called.
When did he call?
Earlier.
When earlier?
Before you got here, Phil. Before any of you got here. You weren't with me the whole day.
The fun is just simply watching the interactions with everyone, as everything is quite unpredictable. The brilliance is within the writing, but also within the staging. The audience can feel how small the apartment is with all the tight shots, resembling a play, yet Baumbach was able to use this to his advantage, incorporating more levity.
Big hole.
Looks like a linen closet.
Now does it look like a linen closet?
No, Travis, now it looks like a bar.
Fucking A!
I'm having a great time.
Ow! What? Ow! Miles!
Number 1 is The Squid and the Whale. Sometimes you go through a rough patch in your life and you watch a movie repeatedly and it earns a special place in your heart. That is this film for me, and it introduced me to this wondrous director. The story deals with a marriage that is starting the separation process and mostly shown from the kid's vista. Jesse Eisenberg and Jeff Daniels shine with their father and son portrayals.
What do you think I should do about Sophie?
You'll make the right decision. I regret sometimes I wasn't more of a free agent when I was younger.
Eisenberg starts the film siding with his father in the separation process and even adopts some of his pejorative mannerisms.
I've come by to tell you I'm not staying here anymore.
Why?
You know why.
No, I don't.
Frank, do you know why?
No. Why don't you tell me, Walt?
Because you cheated on Dad.
How'd you hear that? Your father told you.
Yeah.
But as the narrative moves forward, so does the confusion amongst both kids. While divorce is common, so is the damage it can inflict on all parties involved, especially adolescents whose only example of a functional relationship is shattered.
You only wanted joint custody because you pay less child support that way. Because it's cheaper for you.
Walt, Frank,
I don't want to go.
I don't give a shit. Frank, get in the car. Frank!
Hey, let him stay. Let him stay.
But in the end, sometimes children and their emotional needs get lost in the shuffle. Thank you so much for watching, and please leave a comment. Noah Baumbach loved Brian De Palma, and so do I. So in my next video, I'm going to rank the top 10 works of Brian De Palma. I hope you check it out.